Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the AFC North and going over who I think will win in the 2021 season. But before we get on the topic, question for those of you, and comment down below your AFC North rankings. Who will finish first, second, third, and fourth amongst the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, and Browns? Comment down below and we'll kind of see how our answers match up. Getting straight into it though, acknowledging what these teams did this offseason, Browns completely addressed everything they needed on defense. They already had great pieces, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. Then they went out there and got Malik Jackson, Takarius McKinley, Jadeveon Clowney, John Johnson, Greg Newsome, JOK, Troy Hill. They really addressed every spec of the defense that they needed to. Ravens, they finally got Lamar some weapons. Rashad Bateman, Sammy Watkins. Is this premier top tier receiving core? No, but is it probably the best Lamar's dealt with? 100%. The offensive line will be healthier. Ronnie Stanley, Kevin Zeitler, hopefully between Alejandro Villanueva and Juwan James, someone between those two is a healthy tackle to be on the other side of Stanley. On defense, they went out there and got Justin Houston. They got Odafe Way so that Ravens team has some better pass rush to rely on. Steelers, they addressed the run game. That's the biggest thing. But they also really kept the defense sturdy. Losing Bud Dupree, losing Steven Nelson, teams are kind of like, oh, they're still right around top five. They're not going to be what they were. Then they went out and got their Melvin Ingram. And then when you think about it, how good really was Steven Nelson? You still got Minka. You still got Joe Hayden. You still had Devin Bush, TJ Watt, of course, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Melvin Ingram. It's still a premier defense. They addressed the run game of Najee Harris. I am concerned about the offensive line. They lost Matt Filer. They lost Alejandro Villanueva. They lost a Pouncey brother. It's not going to be fantastic. Big Ben's on this Big Ben diet, but we'll just see how it turns out. Bengals, they addressed pretty much every weapon. They addressed the firepower. They got Jamar Chase. They built up the offensive line a little bit more with Riley Rife alongside of Jonah Williams. Defense a little added on to Trey Hendrickson, Mike Hilton. Trey Flowers will be better. Jesse Bates, Von Bell. It's a pretty decent team. We'll just have to see how it turns out amongst all those improvements, who improved the most. Personally, in my opinion, I think it's a two-man race for the top of the AFC North. The Browns and the Ravens, those are the top two guys. Last year, I know the Steelers won the division, but I don't want to say this was luck either, but I do think that 11-0 run, if it weren't for that, they wouldn't have done too great. I mean, they started 11-0 and finished, I believe, 12-4. Clearly, something at the end didn't click. You don't want to go into the postseason on a bad run. I just think Big Ben's too past his prime. The offensive line isn't that healthy or that great, I guess. You're relying on a rookie running back. And I do like the defense. Look, it is a top-tier defense. It is, and this is a Steelers team that I think a lot of people are riding off. Everyone's saying Steelers are going to be last. Big Ben's completely done. Big Ben's regressing. I think Big Ben, is he at the bottom of his career? Yes. But is he going to be worse than he was last year? No. Do I think they'll be 12-4 again? No. But do I think they could go 10-7 again? Maybe fight for a wild card spot? I believe so. I do think that Steelers defense is still one of the top ones in the league. No doubt. And a top defense can get you pretty far, in my opinion. Again, I don't know if they'll fight for the division to win it again, but I don't believe they're going to be this team that's in last place in the division, completely written off, way below 500, 5-12. I just don't see that. The Steelers don't tank. They got too much talent to be that bad of a team. They got a future Hall of Fame head coach in Mike Tomlin. I just don't see them falling apart that quickly. Bengals, unfortunately, I do see finishing last. I think they got a bright future, but as of right now, I just think they're in too tough of a division to compete, in my opinion. They're not up with the Steelers or the Ravens or the Browns in really any aspect. I think Joe Burrow could, in maybe just 2 years from now, be the best quarterback in that division. That receiving core could develop to be a top 5 one in the league. As of right now, it's just way too young, in my opinion. There's too many unproven things. Joe Burrow's still only going to be half a sophomore. He only played half the year last year. Jamar Chase is just going to be a rookie. T. Higgins is only going to be a sophomore in the league. Zach Taylor's still a confusing head coach. And the defense was added on to, but it's not necessarily half as good as the Ravens, Browns, or Steelers right now. I do think the Bengals will unfortunately finish last. Again, last could be at 10-7 in that type of division. You could have the Bengals 10-7, the Steelers 11-6, and the Browns and Ravens are both 13-4. It's that type of division. Do I think that will be the exact standings? No. But standings as far as record predictions. But do I see the standings being Bengals, Steelers, and then Browns, Ravens? Yes. As far as who takes the crown of Browns, Ravens, like I said, Ravens got a top 2 secondary in the league, in my opinion. It's either them or Denver, depending how Denver's rookie Patrick Surtain pans out, in my opinion, how Kyle Fuller turns his career around. But Ravens, they're up there. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, Devon Young, Deshaun Elliott. It's a great secondary. And like I said, the pass rush is going to get there with Calais Campbell, Justin Houston, Odafe Way. I'm a big fan of Patrick Queen. Offense, like I said, healthier line, Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Rashad Bateman. A lot's going to be depending on him. Can this rookie pan out? I already saw in a training camp video in practice, we saw Rashad Bateman burn Marlon Humphrey on a go route. That was pretty impressive. Obviously, that was just, it's training camp. I can't base anything too much off of that, but it still shows the cat's got some speed and he's got some hands, and he could compete with some of the best. In total, who do I think? It's really going to come down to a head-to-head matchup. I do think these teams are so close. Browns have arguably the better roster. Browns arguably have the best roster in the NFL. I think they're a top 3 roster, best O-line, best backfield. OBJ's coming back. Baker's improving. They got the coach, and I've already mentioned the defense. It's going to depend on the head-to-head matchups between Baltimore and Cleveland, in my opinion. Personally, I see the Ravens being the big brother, as in they own the division. They hold the crown right now. They're the big brother to the Browns. And until the Browns come take that crown, I'm not going to really have the Ravens just lose it to a roster. I really need to see this roster come into fruition. The Browns, as much as they've added this year, John Johnson, Troy Hill, Takarius McKinley, Malik Jackson, Jadeveon Clowney, Greg Newsome, JOK, that's 7 new guys. And Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit coming off of just not playing and being healthier. That's 7 new guys and 2 guys being back. That's 9 players that really hasn't been with this defense consistently. Played a whole season with them. Been with Brown to really be on field live in the NFL. And I think when you got 7, 8, 9 guys trying to all be on this brand new 11-man starting defense, there's going to be some chemistry that needs to be built. There's going to be some growing pains. They just lack experience. Not to say the Browns can't fix it up by the end of the season and head into the postseason hot, but I do think in the first few weeks, we could see just some rusty parts amongst this defense not really playing together ever before. So we'll just have to see how that part turns out. Ravens, though, I think they're ready to go. Like I said, I currently have the Ravens winning the division by this much over the Browns, but I'm not saying the Browns can't take it. I'm just saying until I'm proven, or until the Browns are proven and the defense comes to fruition and this all-time roster comes to fruition and OBJ comes back being the best thing ever for the Browns, comes into fruition, I just can't give it to them. The Ravens are proving it more, in my opinion. Yes, they both made it to the same place last year, and I know there's going to be a Browns fan saying, we were 5 points away from beating the Chiefs. What do you mean we're not going to win the division? We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm not saying you can't win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying until I actually see a preseason game, a week 1 start, just actually seeing all these players together, I can't just hand over the baton of being the best team in that division. That's going to be my argument as of right now. Again, I think the Browns are a premier roster, but I like the Ravens just a little bit more as of right now. And to disclose your argument of saying you were 5 points away from the Chiefs, if Mahomes was in that game was very close to getting ugly for the Browns, and you would have been down 25 points. So no disrespect to the Browns, but I'm just saying it goes both ways here. Overall, I got the Ravens, like I said, edging them out. I think the Browns can take the crown, but I can't give them the crown until they actually take it. They got to prove it to me. So I got the Ravens, Browns by a smidge below them, Steelers, Bengals again. Bengals are probably going to be a team that you don't really want to play just because they got that powerhouse weapons, They can fight fire with any team, go toe-to-toe with any team on offense. And they're probably going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 really earned wins because they got that very strong offense. But I don't take them as a playoff team just yet. I think they're a year or so away. Steelers, same thing goes as the Bengals, but on defense, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback. He can still manage the game decently with Juju Smith, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. It's a decent offense with a premier defense. Don't write them off just yet. They might be in the hunt for a wild card spot. And then I got the Ravens and Browns, like I said, 2 top teams in the AFC. I could see either of these teams winning the Super Bowl this year, fighting for number 1 in the AFC North. It's going to be a great division. It's the second toughest division in football behind the NFC West, in my opinion. But if the Bengals come out balling, you could make the argument it is the best division in football. Either way, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it pans out. What do you guys think? You let me know. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.